How's everyone doing? So this is the second video of a two-part series of Inside the Cab. If you haven't watched the first one, check that one out. So I hope you guys enjoy. Cut here. Kind of hitting bedrock right there, so I don't want to have to rip or anything. Even if I can't get on it, I mean, it's what it is. I could probably make it from the bottom. Yeah, it's I don't know if I'll be able to drive onto that. Can't really go much further down without tipping. So I just want to make a small terrace here, just so I can get in where those boulders are. I gotta bury that into the hillside there. And I'm probably just gonna work it from the bottom for now, and then once I get it close, I can come back up and then I can drive on it. You move this quick here so I can get through. Could just bury this stuff in this terrace over here. I'm just going to use it to plant some trees, maybe some fruit trees on there, but I just don't want any sinking to the ground. I mean, there's some stumps in there, not really. I don't know. Let's see how far I got to move it. It's not that far to those other grub piles, so probably just do it the right way and not have to deal with ground sinking on me. Those rocks sunk in there. Whoa. Alright. Finally off that damn pad. Oh, feels kind of good actually. Been stuck up there for freaking weeks. Kind of annoying. Alright, so get down here and I can move this tree out of the way. I'm gonna have to come at an angle here. This stuff. I gotta bring up my trailer and then pull this stuff out of here, these logs, and this will heal. This stuff's good to work with. You know, I mean, they make really nice logs, and even this small stuff, I'm gonna use this for fencing around my yard and stuff. So they make really nice stuff. If you do it right, they'll last a long time. So I'm just gonna set this over here out of the way for now, and I'll grab it with my trailer. That's so nice, I can just grab the whole pile like that. Bring the trailer up and I'll just load it right up. This stuff will be good kindling for my fireplace. Separate there. Alright, that's pretty good. This is some old stuff here. Get this out of the way. So probably just toss toss that stuff into the grub pile. These rocks out of the way here. It's so nice when it's dry, working on, you know, areas where there's dirt. It packs really nice, you don't sink into it. You can work the material really easy. So nice on the undercarriage. Nice and smooth. I mean, it's, God, working on that rocky pad is a nightmare. Actually, you know what? I guess I can throw the rocks back in there. Alright, let's get this other stuff out of the way here, and then I can kind of work those rocks in. You can see how big the pad is from down here. I mean, I built that up quite a bit. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do with this stump yet. I gotta look into it a little bit more. So I don't want to mess it up too much. So I'm gonna try and try my best not to gouge it too much. Damn it. Right there for now. It's kind of gouged quite a bit, but we'll see. Might just toss it into the grub pile. These logs, I'm going to try my best not to mess them up. Too close. Back a little bit. I'm gonna get a better angle at this. If this was just firewood, I would just grab and toss it, no problem. But I'm trying to save it. I don't want to gouge them. They make really nice logs. These will be nice posts for some of the fencing. These short ones. And this long one right here. This one here is gonna be a nice post. It's nice and straight. That'll make a great post for anything. I mean, even on your house. I mean, you'll see the posts I use in my house are like this, about this size, and they're friggin' amazing now. I mean, we finished them so nice, and I'm really good at finishing them. I got real good at that. There's some techniques that I've used that came out, made it so nice. Stoked to work with Ohia. Actually, it's one of my favorite things to do is work with these logs. Again, I spent a lot of time testing and doing research and figuring out the best ways to finish it, to sand it, and to stain it, and I came up with a really good system. I mean, I'll do a video on my Ohia posts on my lanai one day, and you'll see how nice they came out. Like how the grain, see the problem when a lot of people, they do Ohia posts, they use the same stain I'm using Sickens, but they don't know how to apply it right. They apply it too thick, and when you apply it too thick, it becomes like paint. you know, you hide the grain, so that's the problem. You're covering up the grain if you apply it too thick. And you know, a lot of guys just want to, you know, slap it on real quick, and they don't want to do multiple coats. Well, you have to do 4 coats. I mean, there's no way around it. If you don't do 4 coats, then you're wasting your time. They're gonna look like crap. So I don't know if I want to even share the secrets on here, but I'll go over the process. I'll make a separate video. You're gonna have to watch that video to find out how to, and you can apply this to any wood staining with this stuff, and probably any kind of stain. I mean, Sickens is some of the best stuff out there, and I use the Ceto 1, 2, 3, and I put 2 coats of the 1 and the 2, 3, you know, just 2 of those. So you're supposed to put 2 of those, but I put 2 base coats. The key is, and I'll just give you a little tip right now, is to make sure you don't apply it too thick. You know, you got to wipe off the excess. So, and that's pretty much it. It's like, I mean, you got to be real kind of anal about how you apply it and how you wipe it off. I mean, I wipe it off several times, and it's got to be perfect. You know, so if you don't, it's going to be blotchy. It's going to look like crap. So I'll make a separate video on how to do that. We're going to actually put 6. I made a video on moving those heel logs yesterday, and I'll show you guys when I stain those, the process. So you'll get to see the whole process from start to finish, and after they're installed, how they look. So it'll be a cool video. So this is not just going to be an excavation video. I mean, we're going to do construction, you know, processes, how to do, you know, wood finish work. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I'm going to do it yourself, or I do it all, man. I mean, there'll be lots of videos that are not excavation too, but it's going to be interesting, you know, so stick around. I mean, if you're only interested in excavation, I mean, you're going to be interested in this stuff too, so I'm sure you'll watch it, because if you're doing excavation work, you're doing house projects, and that's what I'll show you guys. Alright, so it's Hawthorne Cat, so let's see what they say. Okay, so I talked to Hawthorne Cat, and you know, that's a joke. I mean, I'm just gonna buy a press and do it myself. I mean, that's crazy. You know, I can get an undercarriage for cheaper than that. So why would I buy 3 bushings and have you guys change out the bushings for, you know, for more than a whole undercarriage? You know, the undercarriage I can put on myself. You know, it's insane. Oh my God, I can't even believe it. I'm shocked. I thought it was gonna be a lot, but 16 hours at $167 an hour to push out 3 bushing or pins and change the bushings. That's crazy. I mean, you watch these videos on YouTube and they're pressing out the pin in a couple minutes. I mean, it's a quick setup with the press and they push it out. I mean, it's not like it's a 30-foot long pin you got to push out. I mean, that's crazy. Alright, that's a joke. So I couldn't believe it. I mean, I had to like double check. I was like, 1,600 hours? Is that what you said? 16 hours? Like, really? Holy shit. Excuse my language, but damn. Alright. We gotta make a press. So I gotta call my friend. I'm done with Hawthorne Cat. Talk to you guys later. Alright guys, so that's it for this series of Inside the Cab. It's a bummer what happened with Hawthorne Cat, but me and Judah is going to get it done and we'll get the machine fixed and we'll keep it going. I'll talk to you guys in the next videos.